Namaste. Good morning, students. How are you? I hope you are fine at home. Let us come back to artificial intelligence. Today we'll study what are the different knowledge acquisition techniques. So before that, we'll come to know, we'll discuss what is knowledge or knowledge acquisition. Knowledge is something what special we have, maybe a reasoning ability or problem solving, decision making ability, understanding the language, analyzing, all these are called knowledge. So, how we have to acquire or how we have to get them? So, that is called knowledge acquisition. It is the process of extracting, we have to extract knowledge from various dimensions. Then what all extracted, they are to be given particular structure, particular form, that is called structuring. And organizing, we have to collect them and we have to arrange them in a systematic way. It is from one source or from many sources, depends on the environment where we live in. Okay, again we can say, what is knowledge acquisition? Again, knowledge acquisition is the bottleneck that constrains the development of expert system and other artificial intelligence. So it is a bottleneck, it is called, because with the help of that knowledge we can develop the expert systems, various systems. Now what right from your prehistorical period till today, if you see what all the developments are made because of the knowledge expertise, it is because of the knowledge these developments are being done. Then what in artificial intelligence, what mechanical development is there, what machine learning is there, because of the knowledge acquisition. When acquired knowledge is applied here, with the application of acquired knowledge we could develop what artificial intelligence have now. Alright, so this is knowledge acquisition. So there are so many different techniques. So we see knowledge acquisition, we know that it is a gathering or collecting knowledge from various sources. It is a the process of adding new knowledge to knowledge base. We have already we have some knowledge and we are adding new knowledge to the base, and we refine it, we filter it, and we improve the knowledge already what we have acquired. So what we can say is knowledge acquisition is the process of expanding the capabilities of a system or improving its performance at some specified task. We have to improve it. So we know that here for first a typewriting system came, then computers, then in advancement in programs, artificial intelligence. What next will come? Who knows? So knowledge acquisition is the goal-oriented creation and refinement of the knowledge. The acquired knowledge may consist of facts, maybe rules, concepts, procedures, heuristics, formulae, relationships, statistics, or any other useful information, maybe science or even social science also. So these source of knowledges may be experts in the domain of interest. In what field you are interested, you are gathering or acquiring from that field only. Means you are going to invest more and more time to acquire or to get expertise in that field. That is also knowledge. Or textbook. By reading textbook, we are gaining the knowledge. Or some technical papers, some research papers and all this. You also can do research papers. So research papers, you are building the research paper, collecting, review the, you are you review the various literatures written by experts, and you are applying your knowledge. You are going through case studies and all this. This is also acquiring knowledge. Database reports, we get so many reports and all this, financial report, budget report, all these reports we are reading. Even account in nowadays IFRS we are going to study this year. That knowledge, accounting knowledge, all these reports you are going through reports and you are understanding it. This is also knowledge gathering. And journals, we can read the journals, various journals, various kinds of daily magazines are there, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, half yearly, like this. So many kinds of journals are there. By reading, by going through that, we get environments also. If you don't have any, you don't want to go through any books or reading materials, you can learn through environment also. You know that here what all changes are being taking place in the environment. So that all we know, we can get knowledge in environment also. So various here, there are various sources how we can acquire the knowledge. Is a knowledge acquisition is not one day or 2 day process. It's a continuous process. Today I read, okay, stop. No, not like that. Knowledge gaining is a continuous process. Should have that. Otherwise, you cannot. So it is a continuous process and it is spread over entire lifetime. See, when we are teachers, we are learning. Because whatever we studied, we cannot teach here because it has become outdated. We have to again acquire the new knowledge and impart the same to students. So lifelong we are learners as well as teachers, right? Right now. Always teachers are learners. Learners, good teachers are good learners. Like that, we have to learn every day. We have to learn, and others also. Not only teachers, in all other profession, in day-to-day life. Not only profession. If you want to live, you should acquire the knowledge. Otherwise, they are called fools. Mentally, those are mentally disordered or unfit. They only don't try to acquire. Rest all try to acquire the knowledge. So, for example, knowledge acquisition is, if it is machine learning, it will be a process of autonomous knowledge creation or refinement through the use of computers. If you say knowledge acquisition is a machine learning, because we are studying artificial intelligence, that's why let us see knowledge if acquisition, if it is machine learning. So, what is this? Then, what is knowledge in machine learning? It is a process of autonomous knowledge creation or refinement through the use of computer programs. The newly acquired knowledge should be in the machines, they have to be integrated with the existing knowledge in some meaningful way. In the machine learning in the computer advanced programs, the knowledge should be accurate, non-redundant, and consistent, and it should be complete, because the knowledge acquisition supports the activities like entering the knowledge and maintaining knowledge base. If it is not accurate, we cannot perform all the activities which are now being performed. So the knowledge acquisition process also, it's a set of dynamic data structure. It is a set of, remember, set of dynamic data structure for existing knowledge to refine the knowledge. Dynamic set data structure, set of, it's a, it sets the dynamic data structure. Dynamic means which is very flexible data structure for the existing knowledge. Already knowledge is there, for that you are adding dynamic, very active data structure, because you have to refine the knowledge. Refine the knowledge means filter the knowledge. You have to purify it, means you have to better the knowledge. For that purpose, you are, see, we are adding the knowledge. Maybe in the human beings it is, or maybe in the artificial intelligence. So, what are the different techniques of knowledge acquisition? There are many techniques: diagram based techniques, matrix based techniques, hierarchy generation techniques, protocol analysis techniques, protocol generation techniques, sorting techniques. Like this, various kinds of techniques are there in the artificial intelligence to develop the knowledge. So, let us see what is diagram based technique. In a diagram based techniques, the generation and use of concept maps, event diagrams, and process maps are drastically used. Remember, maps, diagram in the diagram means various kinds of maps we use, and even diagrams also we can use, and process maps also we can use. This technique captures the features like why, when, who, how, and where. So maps, various maps we use, and we acquire the knowledge that it answers why that is done, when it is done, who has done, how and where it is done. All the say in the maps only we can represent everything. Using some other diagrams also we can use. That's a bar diagram, chart, pie chart. All these also we can use to the acquire. It's a technique of acquiring the knowledge. Then what is matrix based techniques? The matrix based techniques involve the construction of grids indicating such things as problems encountered against the possible solutions. Grids are here, small grids in the computers. You have, grid is means what here? Say like box. Small grids are here, horizontal, vertical lines. They intersect each other, like that matrix in the techniques. Grids are constructed indicating, see, such things as problems. Some problems in the grids, the problems will be there. They are encountered. Using encountered means they are like solved using possible solution. Like this techniques here can be used. Then hierarchical techniques are also used to build hierarchical structures like trees. Hierarchy. A.S. Maslow's means Abraham Maslow's hierarchy, different techniques are used in that. So, based on priority, various things are placed. Priority based. Maybe first priority may be based in the bar here, shown in the bar, shown at the bottom. Then next, like this hierarchy we can build based on importance. Hierarchical structure can be formed like this techniques here to build or to gain the knowledge, which is most important, which is less important, which has to be given priority. Based on this we can form the technique that is called hierarchy generation technique. Then protocol analysis techniques can also be used to identify the type of knowledge we require. So, like goals, decisions, relationships, etc. So we have to attain some goals. So in the business maybe attaining goals, it is earning high profit, not using profit earning techniques, with the effort, with the quality maintenance, with the customer maintenance, we have to earn highest profit, right? So nowadays earning highest profit is not an easy task because the competition is there, cutthroat competition. You are not enjoying any monopoly in the business now. We have to face the various uh, competitors. So competitors, what they do? They always compete with us. If you make some improvement, they make more improvement. So you have to stand in the market. You have to win the market. So this is a goal. This goal, if you want to attain, so always you should be very attentive and you must be aware of everything. Everything because various techniques you know in what way you must be aware that you know that. Then decisions, so what decision you are taking based on your business stance, your life stance, everything is like that. If you take negative decision, you cannot, you means the entire business or the environment cannot come up. So when you are taking decision, it must be proper and appropriate. And relationships also, what relation you are maintaining within the family, within the customer and the business relation in customer here. And business relation also very important. If you don't maintain the good relation, whatever the product you are offering or whatever the quality, the best quality may be, but if the relationship is broken, then obviously you are going to fail in the business. That's why very important it is. What protocol you follow. So what knowledge to maintain this you can acquire. So that is also very important. The protocol generation techniques include various types of interviews like structured, semi-structured and unstructured. Various types of interviews, know that. The most common knowledge acquisition technique is face-to-face interview. Interview, no. So interview is a very important technique which must be planned carefully. The results of an interview must be verified and validated. So some common variations of an unstructured interview are talk through, teach through, and read through. So all these here, how you are talking, how you are reading. So you can get knowledge by reading. By teaching also we get knowledge because when if you want to teach, you have to plan. So the knowledge engineer slowly learns about the problem. Knowledge engineering. Engineering means it's just like construction. They can build a representation of the knowledge. Always they build the knowledge because knowledge building techniques are there. Knowledge build various supporting techniques are available. You can make use of them and you can build the knowledge. That is called knowledge engineering. Again, in unstructured interviews, it never provide complete or well organized description of the cognitive process. If the interview is unstructured, means particular format is not there, we don't get cognitive. Where processes cannot be done properly. Usually, the experts find it very difficult to express some more important knowledge. Unstructured means particular pattern is absence there. So we can't understand. Structure is there means process wise it will be there. Particular format will be there. When it is unstructured, format is absent there. When the format is absent, how we have to arrange in a systematic manner. It is not there. Then always we find it. We means here experts find it very difficult to analyze the knowledge, or to important or to difficult they feel difficult to understand the importance of knowledge, because here always data acquired is often it is unrelated, means not at all related, somewhat it is different, existing at varying levels of complexity, different levels of complex, here complexity will be there, and are very difficult for the expert to engineer them or build them or structure them to review. When all these are very difficult, highly it is very difficult or highly impossible, or you can say it is difficult to interpret them, or we cannot integrate all the knowledge also. That's why unstructured is quite difficult to understand also, to acquire also. But if you see the structured interviews, they are always systematic and goal oriented process. They are always follow some format. Means some orders will be there, some process will be there, some sequence will be there. That's why one can follow it easily. It forces an organized communication between the knowledge engineer and the expert. Knowledge engineer, knowledge building, and the experts. In structured interview, interpersonal communication and analytical skills are important. Interpersonal communication means between the persons. Communication is very important. And see, why, in what way you are communicating is very important. If the communication is not proper, obviously it leads to difference of opinion or any kind of disputes. So the you have to give more importance to the personal interpersonal communication between the person. Proper communication should be there, in the sense we have to make use of proper words or proper uh, respects and all this. What way you like, you cannot talk. Always you have to keep in your mind, and you have to stand in the shoes of others, or you should have developed empathy to communicate with others. How well you are communicating, based on that the relationship develops. So then when the communication is there, only communication mere give any result. So if you want to get a very good result or develop the knowledge, you should develop analytical skills. How best you can analyze them. Whatever is always if you are taking negatives all the meanings, then you cannot attain at the conclusion. If you are always positive also, it is, you cannot achieve anything. Remember, we must be critical in thinking. Always we have to, both the ways we have to think. So what extent, at what percentage it's positive or negative to think. That is what here is analysis. Okay, then knowledge will sorting various techniques will be there. Which is best? We have to sort the techniques. Which is better for which knowledge? Like this, we have to sort. All techniques are not equally applicable to all kinds of knowledge. For technology is different, for social science it is different, for mathematics it is different. Like this, based on the importance, based on the knowledge gain, we have to sort them. Then now let us see what is knowledge sharing and transformation of knowledge. Knowledge sharing is a base, is a great asset that should be found in every businesses, and they must incorporate the concept into our business surroundings. and to solve the problems. You know that people are generally afraid of new things. If you are introducing new things, they are afraid. The reason for this is the fear of unknown things. What to say? When new things comes, we are afraid to buy because we don't know about the product. So the workforce is to familiar that product among the public or among the people. So knowledge based software must be used to share the information to the people or team of people. The best way to grow is to actively learn new things, and this is where a knowledge sharing system can help extremely. Knowledge, how best you are sharing the knowledge. We have to encourage, I mean, business has to encourage employees to share their knowledge to various systems. So, what are the different systems there? So, provide education. The first step that needs to be taken is educating the workforce on all the important things about the knowledge base. There are some important points that are to be considered. First point what we can say is, so overview. The first thing is people have to become familiar with the knowledge base about the product and about the main purpose. If for that sake, employees are to be made familiar with the concept so they can convince the customers. It is very easy. If employees are made familiar with the concept, then they can convince the customers easily. So you can say it is a better and easier approach. Then they have to educate people how to use. It is necessary to train the staff how the knowledge base is used. Once they see the useful of that product, they can share the knowledge to the people. They will experience a change of mindset as they are going to become completely familiar with the whole concept. If they become a experienced or expert, then they can convince the people easily. Business and personal benefits. So, with the various lines of work, the things tend to continue change. So, what are here with the information, what personal benefit employees get, and even what business gets, that knowledge is to be given to the employees. So, they can hear what they receive, the actual benefits, and the business gets. It helps them to push the products to the customers. Then always the business has to give successful examples, not failures. During training, they have to mention examples of how other companies have made a good move by using knowledge based software and how it has affected both their employees and their business. This will show them that it the software really works and it will motivate them to get started. Always you to give the positive examples. Then the employees are to be guided to share the right type of knowledge. The majority of employees are going to be confused about what they should share among each other. Confusion will be there. Showcase of couple of great examples. What is valuable knowledge and what is not really that important. That they must understand. For example, a person who works in customer support should share a pattern of issues that customers are reporting occasionally. On what issue their customers are reporting, he must, in what pattern they are, he must understand the pattern of that. This will mean a lot to those who are working on making the product or service better. In addition to this, sharing information about the best possible solution is going to make it easier for colleagues to approach this type of issue. What customers are complaining, what they want, all these are to be passed to the producers or service providers, so they can better their service and they improve the quality of product and the service. It is possible. And second main thing is identify the potential in employees. Potentials in the employees also, some employees are not merely machines. They are also human beings. They are, have extra potentialities are there in found in the employees. What is there in them? Number of reasons why your employees may be shy of sharing their knowledge. Most of the year they shy because they think the employers may not accept or they are greater than them. The usual reasons are low self-esteem. Low self-esteem may be there. Then embarrassment may be there. Then some people criticize. That is fear of criticism may be there. These are all make them too shy. So who look though there are some people who look forward to share their knowledge with their colleagues, they are to be encouraged. They the employers must help such people to give their feedback or share their knowledge. The employer has to identify such employees in essential step because they lay foundation in the knowledge base. They are to be given due importance. The service here they are to be given softwares to develop or some develop management techniques are to be used. And always even employers have to pick some persons who are not ready to share their knowledge also, because they are also equally important. Always either they are to be motivated to share their knowledge, or if they are not ready they are to be encouraged in the form of giving training, guidance, support and all this. Sometimes negatives also be used. Then third one is add a reward system. Always employees, they are to be given some rewards and awards, maybe monetary benefits or recognition. All these are to be provided to encourage them. Then it is very easy. It is so recognition. So people, if they want to share the knowledge, they must feel the business is they are very much related. They are having very much concern with the business. That atmosphere is to be formed. So then they have to be honored, they have to be recognized when they are sharing the knowledge, because always people want to be appreciated for their efforts. So the best way is to here is to allow employees to send all the documents, guides or videos they create. Whatever they create, they have to be given freedom to sign all the documents or guides, videos, what they create. Then some financial rewards must be given through knowledge application. Financial, it is a reward for them. It supports their family and all this. So they have to be given financial assistance for financial not only that, in the form of some bonus and all this, some profit sharing must be there. So this can be used. Then next is formal obligation. In some cases, if it the recognition, financial rewards and all this, if they cannot be used, they may not become useful, then formal obligations are to be used. It is nothing but standards of job requirement must be set. Standards. Those who make additional efforts, they are to be given better recognition or better reward. Then all the time they are to be awarded their better pay, better remuneration is to be given. This approach creates a whole culture around knowledge sharing, making it normal employees process that employees are acquired to perform. So there are like this, there are some best ways of encouraging the employees to contribute knowledge sharing system. So different techniques are there. Uh, so many, even not only this, so many techniques, so many knowledge bases are there. They are to be adopted and all this. For the time being, we will conclude because the this one what uh, if the audio or video is full, lots of things are there, then converting into or exporting into video is very difficult. That's why let me conclude for the for this video. Other things we will continue in the next video. Thank you, and all. Let us see in the next video.